Hello people of the world, it is Wednesday, that means it's comic book day. Let me show you what I got. First up is The Walking Dead issue number 168. Rick is still reeling from the death of Andrea, and there's a possible insurrection happening amongst all of the different people that have been following Rick. Surprisingly, Negan is coming to his aid. Looks like he is going to be a big part of this storyline, despite many people out there hoping that his character was going to be killed off. By the way, I do need to point out there is a variant cover that's in line with Pride Month for this issue, and I think it's pretty darn awesome. Next up is Darth Vader issue number 1. This takes place immediately after episode 3 in the movies. Besides the fact there's a really cool encounter between Vader and Palpatine, we also get an explanation behind the red lightsabers. Which, I'm not the biggest of Star Wars fans, so I don't know whether or not this explanation has been told before, but I'm glad for someone like me who doesn't have as much knowledge as many other people out there, this is something that's explaining it very easily. Superman issue number 24, Black Dawn Part 5. The main villain behind this storyline has been dragged out for a bit of time, has finally been revealed. I won't spoil it for just a few people out there that may not know who it is, but still I'm glad that this character is being brought back into the Superman universe. Even though he's technically already been a part of the New 52 universe, he hasn't been written properly, at least not until now. And he is still a complete and total dick, and I'm glad that they're doing that. Spider-Man issue number 17. Miles Morales has really had a rough time in the past few issues, which is very typical of anyone who holds the mantle of being Spider-Man. It would seem as though as him having some other teenage superheroes to help him out would be something in the plus column, but it's really also a hindrance for him at the same time. One superhero, Bombshell, took on Hammerhead, and unfortunately, she was put in the hospital. And this is leading Miles down to an even darker path, unfortunately. Green Lanterns issue number 24. Finally, the Green Lantern Corps is going to start training Simon and Jessica. There's also a side story that's going to become the main story about the original Green Lantern rings. So I'm liking that this storyline is going to probably cross over a bit with Hal Jordan in the Green Lantern Corps. Next up is Nightwing issue number 22. We have the return of the villain Blockbuster. Although not really, it's actually his brother, because in all comic book universes, whenever there is one character and they have a brother, the brother is always going to end up having the same ability, or going to have some sort of similarities between him and his brothers so that they can also clash with the main superhero. It really does seem to happen a lot. Although this may be a slightly different case, being that this villain doesn't really want to fight Nightwing, instead he wants to hire him. There's also a couple little side characters that haven't made too much of a presence in the Bat universe for some time that I'm glad they're making a little bit of an appearance here. dkIII, The Master Race, Book 9. I only read this just so I can see the conclusion to this storyline. It's not the best by Frank Miller, not by a long shot, but it's also not the worst story he's ever written either. The premise involved the shrunken city of Kandor. Most of its citizens were Kryptonian, and most of them were also killed off by a religious cult. And that cult tricked the Atom into enlarging them to full size. So we had this big battle between Kryptonians and some of the superheroes of Earth. The storyline was okay. It didn't deserve all of the harsh criticisms that I read online about it. I mean, it was entertaining, it just wasn't as great as what a lot of other people were hoping it was going to be. X-Men Gold, issue number 5. We have a new Sentinel, because of course we have a new type of Sentinel, and Gambit is partially responsible for creating it. The problem with this Sentinel is that it's not just targeting mutants, it's also targeting anyone who has any type of mutations, which could be some sort of disease or something else. So it's basically targeting everyone in the world, so you know, that's not quite so good. Finally, I read Batman issue number 24. Batman is sort of reconciling his life and explaining everything that he's gone through with Gotham Girl. And he's also contemplating his future, which is where Catwoman comes into play with this. Again, I'm sure a lot of people already know the ending to this issue because there's been a lot of articles written, some of which these articles are not even comic book sites. These are just outside sites that have just spoiled it for a lot of people. So I won't spoil it for anyone out there who doesn't know, but I do think this is going to be a major storyline in the future. However, I don't believe that it is going to end up going through. Yeah, I know that's kind of vague, but I stand by what I said. But that's my comic load for this week. I also got Iceman issue number 1, which I have to say that was a really good first issue, but I'll talk about that in a separate video. What did you guys get? Leave comments down below and let me know. That's it for now. Thank you guys for watching me in this video. Be sure to check out my Patreon site when you get a chance, patreon.com/gaycomicgeek. You become one of my patrons, you get to see some extra pictures, videos, photo shoots, things like that that I only share with my patrons. So check it out when you get a chance. I'd really appreciate it. Anyways, hopefully I will join you guys in another video very soon. Peace, love, namaste. I'll see you guys later. Peace. If you're not aware of this, June is Pride Month, and there are a lot of different variant issues coming out for different comic book series that are promoting Pride, and I'm really happy that this is being done.